Hey everybody, it's Jillian. So, been reading about different bloodlines and everything, and there are a lot of players in this world that don't exactly hold the bloodline, but they are the players in the world that are part of the pyramid. Okay. Like I've read about like the Kennedy bloodline, okay? Like the Kennedy bloodline. The Clintons were affiliated, but the Clintons don't have their own bloodline. Okay. There are people in high levels of government, like in Congress and everything, that have came up in their own right, but they're not like part of the 13 bloodlines. And some of them may be, and we don't know. But you know, I don't think everybody in government is an actual bloodline. I think there's a lot, predominantly, there are people that are affiliated or work with the bloodlines very closely. And so I'm kind of revising my introduction where I do talk about the New World Order, because I didn't, like I said, there were Freemasons in the Catholic Church, but that's very vague, right? Okay, so what are the Freemasons and what are the Catholic Church? Well, when I studied the 13 bloodlines, then I'm like, oh wow, they're the ones that basically started the religion, the politics, the science, the birth control, everything. And it can be very jolting to some people who are very religious, or like, oh my God, how can you say the Illuminati created my religion? Whether it's Jehovah's Witness, whether it's Mormonism, whether it's Christian, Catholic, whatever, these bloodlines started your whole freaking universe. And so, yeah, there's no way I'm going to demonize them in my new book. But I'm going to say, yes, we are. I mean, am I going to say depopulation agenda? I got to be very careful how I say this, because I'm reading about the bloodlines and I'm like, some interesting stuff here. And the oldest bloodline that I could see is the Lee Dragon bloodline, because they were around since 2000 BC, part of the different dynasties of China. They have some interesting like affiliations, associations, or sects of their bloodline, like the triads. A lot of the kung fu movies came out of these bloodlines. And so it's not that I'm afraid of them, no, but it's just more like, why demonize them? They are the ones that brought your world. They are the ones that gave you a reason to be upset about something. They're the ones that, that have recorded all the knowledge in the world, of which they release intermittently and slowly. Because, yeah, I mean, are you going to tell a kid when they've been taught that there's no aliens? Now there's aliens, and now there's ghosts. And the tooth fairy, well, they probably exist, but really it's mom and dad putting the money under your pillow. Oh, as far as Santa Claus, well, he is probably real, but he was more, more like the Minotaur, or more like the demons that balanced humanity way back in antiquity. But we've made him into a nice person. But he doesn't really exist now. Maybe he does, but you don't want to really meet Santa Claus. You wouldn't be sitting on Santa Claus' lap, 10,000 years ago or something. So you have to release information very slowly, because the public is like a child. They can only take so much if they've been told one thing or two things. So anyway, so I'm looking at like Klaus Schwab, and the World Economic Forum is more like a conduit. I looked him up. I mean, he's in Switzerland, but he's part of, Germanic descent. Yeah, he's highly educated, but I think he's more of a conduit to carry out the plans of the next new world. Okay, he's like one of the helpers of the architects and the engineers of the design to keep the balance. Okay, because the 13 original bloodlines and the 4 extra, they all have their hands in industry, and they need people. I mean, how can you be a bloodline that has a huge 10,000, 20,000 square foot house with all of your cars, that they can't make the cars themselves, they can't maintain their house themselves, they can't make the food themselves? And so what do? They want people who are talented. They want people who are productive, that will maintain the screws that are in the mixers to mix the eggs that are grown in a garden with the flour that's milled in the, in the big field of all the, the wheat and whatever, with all the sugar that's in the sugarcane fields that then, needs to have an infrastructure. I mean, there's not like they're going to kill everybody. I mean, come on. But it is a scaling down. It is a balance. Because we have so many unbalanced energy out there. And so, I'm going to say that it's about controlling the population so it doesn't become out of control. That's really where they're coming from, is taking a population, because when you advance a society, you have to have almost every idea, every kind of person out there that has the means to be innovated, to then bring out the innovation, can handle the pressure of competing. I mean, look, the Olympians, okay? And so now that we have pretty much everything, we have all the subject matters in college. We have the politics, religion, science, okay, which is some form of control. We have pretty much all the infrastructure figured out. We still need worker bees. We still need people to learn coding. We still need to have all the different arts and entertainment, because that's what it's like, in a court in a king's court or a queen's court, you have the jester, which John reminded me of the jester, the court jester. But you got to have the actors and the actresses to then not only send a message to the population, but to also entertain. Okay, I mean, how much gossip and how much drama can you have in a family line that, that ceases to become interesting? Now you want to know other people's drama and gossip, even if it's manufactured. Okay, and so you guys. So how I'm going to characterize the New World Order is the 17 bloodlines with the 13 original. Klaus Schwab, I wouldn't say is the CEO of the New World Order, because that means that he would be higher than all the 13 bloodlines, and he may not even have any bloodline, but he's a very good representation. He's like a front to shield people from really knowing who is running the world. So if he's the front and he's the educated engineer from Harvard and Stanford or whatever, living out in Switzerland, which is, is run by bloodlines, okay? And he has been dubbed to be that representation. No different than Bill Gates is dubbed to be that representation to deal with viruses and computer technology and vaccines. Okay, whatever. Not a big deal. But just like anything, you have to have a face to the organization. Okay, and then you see all the different companies that are Luciferian. Here we go, ho ho, which is no big deal. But all the companies that contribute to the World Economic Forum are part of the 1317 bloodlines. Okay, they are your world. They are what gives you life. Don't knock the New World Order. I know you hate that they're trying to scale down, but at least you have a choice. That's the thing I'm getting across, is you have a choice. You can't save everybody. There's no freaking way. The Walking Dead told you that. For people to live, some people have to pass away. Okay, get it. Totally got it. Why am I using The Walking Dead? Because I'm telling you, every single movie, like I'm watching, every single movie is a representation of what's going on. I was watching last night The Titan before I just got really tired and fell asleep. But that is where they're doing experiments on humans to see if they can move to another planet and deal with the nitrogen and the really cold climates, and they have to actually change their body. So they're undergoing all these experiments and doing all these things and testing to see how long they stay underwater, how long can they be in cold temperatures. It's like, special ops in the military. But yeah, I mean, it's like the Titans were some other species, and then I'm sure mankind and all the divinity, the divine potential, man, made them even more what we are today. So I'm going to be rewriting that portion of it. And yeah, I'm going to put in, like, in tables who the 13, 17 bloodlines are, what areas that they are representing, what areas of industry they're representing. And then, yeah, here's the World Economic Forum. Here are all the contributors to the World Economic Forum. Okay, and they all are part of the 13 bloodlines. So yeah, so Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum are a front, but not a bad thing. It's just they're the face of the New World Order. And he is just there to direct it. He's the director. He's an executive, but he's not the actual CEO of the New World Order. So I get it now that I'm reading about this. Like, I mean, I'm going through and it's a lot. It's a lot to go through 17 bloodlines and read. And I don't read every single because it's a lot of reading. So I skim a lot and I look for dates. I look for their origination. And then I also look for what companies, what industries they go into, because it's all representation of what's going on now and then where they came from, their lineage. And that's the most important. All the other details of like all the people that they are associated with and their relatives. Okay, yeah, it's important. It's fun to know all the different lines and the different people they interact with and all the different drama. But really what's important is the industry they went into and where they originated from. Like, was it 1400? And I would go and do a control F in the actual body. And I put in 12 for like 1200 if they were part of 1200 BC. And then 13, like anything in the 1300s, anything in the 1400s. And then there'd be like maybe 23, options that come up. And I'm like, looking at all the options, like, okay, so they were here ever since like 1200 BC or 1200 AD. And then I would put the dates. I wouldn't even put if there's like a range from and to. I'd be like, they started in 1814 and they're still pretty much influential today in some form or another. There is no like end date. I mean, yeah, there's the Krupps, that very, very, very deadly bloodline that did a lot of torturous human torture stuff, crimes against humanity back in the 1940s. But it's we still have influence of that today, but more underground than anything else. But every single bloodline started from someplace and they still have an influence. There is no end date for any of these bloodlines. You as a human should be so thankful you're in their world. Now just know your place. This is their world. You're just in it. But you're given a choice, because guess what? Every person should have a purpose. What are you contributing to their world? They made you and they can take you out. They gave you all the trappings of humanity and trappings of environment and luxury and whatever. I mean, I'm telling you, us being in a house, when someone in a third world country is dying to get to America and you're in a house driving a car, you should be very thankful. Why people are out there all like, oh, Bill Gates sucks and this sucks and that sucks and life sucks, and you're like, dude, do you want to be like in Ethiopia? Do you want to be in South America where they're walking miles and miles and miles to get here? And you're here sitting on your ass, sitting so pretty. You have modern conveniences and you're so unhappy. That's the kind of shit that the New World Order wants to take out. People who are not grateful for what they have. Not grateful that they have a roof over their head. They have great bedding. They can sleep in a soft bed in a safe place. That's some stuff that people take for granted. And so, yeah, the West is going to get hit hard because we have a lot of people who take their shit for granted. I am thankful for every single thing my husband provides me. I am thankful that I'm alive because let me tell you, I've seen the worst out there. I've slept on the streets a few times. I've been in motels where I was in a weekly motel with my husband when we were struggling when we first started out. I've seen the worst of the worst. Some of you have spent time in, behind bars. Okay? And so you've seen the worst of the worst. And so you're fucking thankful for what you have now. And those people have never struggled a day in their fucking life. And they're all about bitching about everything. And that I can't deal with. Because I know how hard it is to struggle. And so that's who the New World Order is taking out, are those that take shit for granted. They don't have a way to expand their mind. and they want to go and demonize a person, place, or thing and call them satanic and call them the demon and the scourge of this, and don't understand both sides of an argument. And I'm like, hey, fine. That's your prerogative. Some of you are on the Jilly Juice and are doing that. Okay, fine. At some point, I hope the Jilly Juice changes your perspective. It may not. It may enhance your divisiveness and may strengthen your argument. But I'm hoping at some point, something gets a hold of you and says, okay, be thankful. You know, at some point, you may have to get the vaccine. I plan to get the vaccine after my book is done. I'll get whatever the ones on the market. I will deal with the healing process, the evolution process, and that way I could travel. Not that I want to go to sporting events and all that, I really don't. But I do want to travel at some point. Okay? But that's it. Either I'm traveling or I'm doing my thing, whatever I'm doing here locally here. Taking care of my dog. So, and my husband. So I have no qualms with the environment, with the government, with the New World Order, nothing. I know how powerful they are. Reading about this stuff, I'm like, holy shit, these people are powerful. Yeah, China's very powerful. All of our leaders are part of it. Who cares? At least you are alive. And that's for damn sure that you need to really focus on the fact that you're alive and that you have the choices. And those that choose to close their mind and they're like, oh, I can't do jelly juice, but oh, I hate vaccines and I hate this and I hate that. Yeah, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, so your religion, your politics, your science, everything. Because science is just a study of. It's not anything about life or death. It's just a study of. Science is very vague. It's not even very definitive. So the New World Order gave you the politics, religion, and science. And then you have a choice to pick a side. But then, even the side that you pick may not be what actually is so. So then you have to learn how to understand the laws of life and death. Because when everybody thinks everyone should die, then life could be anything. Okay? And it's like, okay, whatever. So that's all I got to say. But now I understand. And when I speak, because I had no plans of speaking, I really did. Because I'm just like, I went to a birthday party yesterday. The kid is awesome. That I was hanging out with, and with the family. The family is huge. Family's great. And, yesterday I spent half the day remembering the vision board or something that I would take, like magazine cutouts, and I would paste them to a board. And we did have science projects back in 5th or 6th grade. But I'm like, I want to show the world to a kid, because, this kid's like 7 years old, I think. And I don't know what's in his head. And not that I really need to be in his head, because it's none of my business, really. But I want to show him the world. So I got all these magazines. I got these car magazines. I got Mysteries of the World magazines and all that. And so his birthday, he got all of his toys. But I wanted to... So I got all these magazines. We cut out stuff. And then there's different titles like nature and cars and food and travel. And I put some lettering that I glued on to some construction paper and then cut it out. And then at some point, him and I and his family, whatever, he'll make his own vision board. Okay? And so that way, that's how we can encourage our young people to start dreaming about what they want to do in the future. Whatever path it is. They don't have to be on J-Juice. It'd be great, but that doesn't have to happen. But whatever they can contribute to the bigger piece of the pie, hey, it's amazing. I didn't have the luxury to dream like that. I didn't even know what was available except for college or McDonald's. Those are the only two choices, food service or college. Oh, that's a great choice, Mom. But that was her way of trying to get me into college, and that was just the wrong approach. So, but whatever, that's what the approach was. But, so I'm all about just, encouraging whoever to dream about what they want to contribute to society. What do you want to contribute to society? You want to contribute more of the division and the chaos and the angst and the depression? Or do you want to contribute the hope and the innovation and the productivity and the peace and whatever that you can, help show that why you should be here, why you should have a place of the 500 million? Because 500 million is still a lot of people when that actually is the end result. Okay? And so, and that's why I don't debate on my Facebook. When I talk about the Vatican and all the different statues and their architecture, and then someone on my Facebook is like, no, that's not true, that's not correct, da, 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 da. They're gone. I have no patience for anyone disputing or trying to convert me, converter, electricity, on my Facebook. Okay? It's either your AC, an alternating current, or your direct current, one of the two, right? And if you can be both, okay. I don't know if you can be both. I don't know electricity that well. But, don't try to convert me on my Facebook. Please don't try to convert me. Take what you can from my information, build your world, find a common foundation with everybody, even with the people that you don't like. Find a common foundation, because there's a chance are you're going to find something in common with them. As much as you have politics, religion, and science, very different, you will find a foundation with them, a common one, because you have humanity with divinity. Okay? And let the world be the way it is. Let people make their choices, because they're going to. And that, and that's so I finally figured out, yeah, thank God, talking about this is amazing. And it really then clinches the point that yes, the World Economic Forum is just a conduit, a front for the New World Order, and all the companies that contribute to the World Economic Forum are part of the 1317 Illuminati bloodlines that do run your world, that gave you your life, that allowed you to live. Now, some countries that are not acquiescing and adhering to the New World Order, well, yeah, if you're going to resist something, they don't want resistors. They want someone that falls in line, that will be part of the productivity. So that's kind of what's going on right now, is there's some people that are resisting, and they don't like the West. They don't like the innovation. They want to stay very, wild and barbaric, and I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. But I am very thankful that I have a place. And this is my husband found this. It's so cool. Look at this. This is pretty cool. So I got a bit of a Greek something here, and this has been sitting next to my bed. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. So anyways, I just wanted to show that to you. But happy Sunday, okay? Thanks, guys, for listening. But I've had another clarity of thought as far as formulating my book, and where the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and all the companies, and then the 1317 bloodlines. Hell yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks for being the reflect back. I appreciate it. Thanks, Facebook. I am grateful for you too. All right, bye.